Hey everyone, this is Angie at StampingWithAmore. Welcome to my channel. If you're new to my channel, please subscribe and hit that bell for notifications each time I upload a new video. Today is card day. So we are making a FunFold card. So this opens this way and then this flaps up. And it's a really fun card, super easy to do. But if you are a beginner, you can modify this so easily by just making it at a regular 5.5 by 4.25, just one that folds sideways like this. You can cut out a circle, out of the circle, same circle, stamp your Merry Christmas on top, and then just add your little embellishments on there. And it would be a really quick and easy card to make. So if you are new to this, that would be an alternative for you to making this, although I think you can make this because it's really an easy one to do. All right, so I just love this sentiment, and I did use 2 different sentiments on here because I love that in the window. And what I'm using for this is, the sentiment is from the Holly Jolly Wishes. And it's this big Merry Christmas. I love this one. If you need sentiments, this is the perfect one for you. It has all different, like some whimsical ones and some really pretty cursive ones like this and this one right here. And then for the inside, I use the tidings and trimmings, wishing you a joyful Christmas and a happy new year. Because honestly, I couldn't find a whole lot of inside sentiments in my stamp sets. And I had to go back to some older ones that are no longer available, so I chose this one to use in this card. And then I'm using the Christmas Season Bundle, and it comes with the seasonal labels dies, which we are using to cut out all these pine cones. And I already did all the cut and emboss work for you, so you didn't have to sit and watch me stamp them and cut them, because I really wanted to show you the card. And then I'm using layering circles. And I am using this Stitch So Sweetly, the largest one in here. And I'll tell you the circle size in case you have a punch or whatever for that front window. All right, so we are starting this with a whole 8.5 by 11 piece of cardstock. We're going to score this. And I'm going to use my trimmer for this because we're going to score this and then we're going to cut that section off. So you are going to score it on the 11-inch side at 5.5, just like you were if you were going to cut it for a regular card base at 5.5 by 4.25. But we're scoring this, we're not cutting. So you're going to score it in half, and then you're just going to turn it and score it in half, and the 8.5 side at 4.25. So it's really easy to do. I know you can do it. And then we're going to cut this one off right here. You can cut any of them and it'll all work because you just need to fold it the right way. So this one we're going to cut down to the 5.5. So my 5.5 mark is right here on here, so I know that I'm where I need to be. And then I'm going to turn it this way and I'm going to cut it down to the 4.25. All right, oops, and then that will be cut off. So you're going to have a piece that looks like this. This you can stamp your images on it, and you can use your dies to cut it out. That will work for that, so you're not wasting anything. And I'm going to show you, since I already stamped and cut all these, look at all the ones that we're using for this. I'm going to show you exactly what we used. And I'm using 2 of these leaves here. We're using 2 of these pines for the inside, 1 of these, but I did stamp 2 because you stamp 2 at one time. We're using one small and 1 large pine cone. I have 1 too many there. And then this is for the outside, and we need 2 berries for the outside, and then these berries go with this. These are all for the outside, and this one's for the inside. So I'm going to show you all the stamps here in just a second. And I have them all on my little tray because I had them all ready to go. But these are two-step stamping. And I think I'm going to go ahead and show you how I stamp the pine cone and these right here, the holly leaves, because they are two-step stamping. And for those who are new, don't know how to do two-step stamping, I want to show you how to do that. All right, let's scoot that out of the way for a second. So I'm using soft suede for the pine cones. I'll do the big one so you can see it better. I've already done this in another video, but I wanted to show you for those who didn't catch the other video. So this is I'm gonna stamp off on this one, and then we're gonna stamp here because I wanted a lighter color. So it comes out like two different colors, and this is the inside, and we're going to do this one straight. And you're just going to line it up and then stamp right on top. And then you have your pine cone there. And it looks real, it's really pretty. So for the holly, what you're going to do is you're going to use soft succulent, and I used evening evergreen. And we are going to take the holly, and we're going to do these in the soft succulent. And then I'm going to take the other two-step part, and we're going to do that in the evening evergreen. Again, you're going to line these up, stamp them, and then there's your holly. They're really easy to line up because of the photopolymer, and it's really a fun technique to make them look more 3D. The other colors I used are real red and then some memento black. All right. So all the other ones I already cut out and everything. We used the cut and emboss and cut those all out, and we got them all ready to go. Okay, so now back to this card. We are going to fold this. So we're going to fold this one down this way. Oh, and one other thing I forgot to tell you before I move on. We need the trimmer again here, because what I like to do, you don't have to do this, but it really, really helps in your card folding. You might want to come back over here, and you might want to cut like maybe a 1/16 of an inch off. And I like to do this just to make a hair amount of room for this to fold really nicely. So this is folding down, and then when this one folds over, it's going to fold a lot easier, and it's all level on all three sides here. So you're not trying to force it down. It just helps in doing that. We are going to mat these. So we're going to mat this piece. I'm going to use my Stampin' Seal for this. And this paper is one of my very favorite. You know, I've already used, I'm going on my second pack. It's the Painted Christmas. So that's what I used for all of this. So this is going to be our front. We're going to mat that, and we're going to go ahead and mat the inside as well while we got this going. So look, you can use so many different patterns for this. It's so beautiful. So we're going to mat this one too. And then I'm also going to mat the very bottom here with a strip here. And this strip is 1/2 by 5 3/8. So it's going to go on the very bottom right here. So it's 1/2 by 5 3/8. I had to double check that on my notes because I couldn't remember if it was 5 3/8, because you cut that little piece off there, so it's going to give you a little bit shorter than 5 1/2. So that's just to decorate that panel right there. All right, now we need the cut and emboss, and I am going to use this circle die, and this is a 3-inch circle die. So if you have a punch or a die that, these are our layering circles that I'm using for this. All right, so let's put this in here. And you want to make sure you have it pretty centered. I'm going to add a little piece of not tape, but purple tape here. You don't want to use tear tape. You'll never get that off. All right, so I'm just going to hold it there in place, and we're going to just run this through. And I'm just going to come right back. And that's all we're going to use this for. Be very careful pulling this off because you don't want to tear your designer series paper. Sometimes I find this purple tape will tear if you're not careful. All right, so now we have the front. We are going to stamp this, and I'm bringing my handy Stamparatus out. I love this thing, and I don't show it in the videos a whole lot, but I love it for stuff especially like this. And we are going to set our Merry Christmas, oops. I'm going to do it this way. You first need to take your pencil and mark where we're going to do that. And then we're going to put it down here. And I'm going to turn it the other way so I can get my Merry Christmas in the right spot and get it straight. Now on this one you kind of have to line up the Christmas because the writing's a little bit curved. And I am using my evening evergreen for this. And let me grab a stamp set because this usually makes it really nice to stamp on. It gives it a firm place to stamp. So let's put that on here. And we're going to stamp that. And I'm going to do it again. This is what I love about the Stamparatus. If it comes too light and you want it darker, you have a chance to do it again. And I lost my little cloth. I usually use a Swiffer for this, so it glides over this really nice. But I'm using my hand this time. And look how nice that comes. Perfectly centered. And I'm going to grab my little chamois to clean this off because I don't want to mess up anything. And we're going to take this off and put this away. And we're going to erase our little mark here so you can't see that anymore. But it's going to line up really nice now. You can do this by hand too, but the Stamparatus, if you don't have a Stamparatus, that's the best tool that you can invest in. Alright, so now look at how nice that fits inside the window. You can leave it just like this if you want, but oh my gosh, I love this bundle because these pine cones and stuff just says Christmas to me. So I'm taking all of these. We are going to add these. I'm going to use some wet glue. By the way, I always have a lot of questions. This is the Bearly Art Glue, but I just put it in a fine tip bottle that I got off of Amazon. I always have questions about that. So that is what I use for this. And we're going to put one here, the large one here. We're going to add this leaves. This one is in Evening Evergreen, this leaf here. And then we're going to take the smaller one, pine cone, going to add it here. And you can go over because you're not going to, there's room for you to have, where your sentiment is, there's room for you to overlap here. So I like for it to be on the inside as well. And then we're going to take some of these berries and we're going to put those on here. Just like that. I'm going to move that a hair up. I love the wet glue because you do have some time to move it. And then we're going to take one of these leaves. I'm going to put that on this side. Again, you can go over. And these are going to go on the other side. And then we're going to put some berries. I'm going to move this a hair too. Not over that. Just make sure you don't cover your words up. And then we're going to use these other berries. So you do have to do a lot of cut in and emboss, but it's so worth it for this card because look how beautiful that looks on the front. This is really an elegant one. So now what I'm going to do is grab my stitched So Sweetly die. This is the largest one that we have, the scallop. And I should have stamped it first, like that, right in the center. And then I'm going to take my Memento Black, and I'm going to grab my sentiment, wishing you a joyful Christmas and a Happy New Year, and we are going to stamp. Isn't that pretty? I love this. And then we're going to add 2 of our pine. I love these pine. They stamp so pretty. So we're going to add one going this way. That way. And then I'm going to use this smaller holly just for the center. I need to move those up just a hair. I did cut this a little bit at the end because it was a little bit too long. I forgot I cut that off just a hair. And then we're going to put that right there because I don't want this one going over the edge. And then I'm cutting one of these little berries off that one right there, and we're just going to use the 3 on this one. Right in the center. Just like that. And it is done. Once you get all of your stuff cut and stamped, it went really easy because I could run a whole big sheet of all the stamped images. I could stamp a bunch and then run it through the cut and emboss at one time. So there you have it, all done. But isn't it really pretty and so worth the work? And it's not really hard at all. So I hope you give it a try. All right, let me grab the other one. So here we are. And make a beautiful envelope as well. You can even use the same designer series paper for the flap of your envelope, and it would be a gorgeous one to send out. I hope you all have a great day. If you need any supplies, this is my November hostess code. And I appreciate it if you use the hostess code. And I hope you all have a blessed one. I will catch you in the next one, everyone. See you later. Bye.